Peace.
Jake, in my last submission, I'll say this. Clinton mentioned about the president needs to be presidential, and with vigor nilikubaliana naye sana, ila kwa kiasi fulani tena alini disappoint kwa vile jinsi ambavyo alikuwa anaeleza what he really meant by the president needs to be presidential. It completely went contrary to what I thought he was talking about. Now, kazi ya president sio ya kushikashika watu wenye wanatoa maoni yao ndiposa uonekane kuwa presidential, ila taking the mantle, leading as a leader, stop being a politician for the period of your presidency and being a leader. There is a completely big difference in between being a political leader and being a leader. Being a political leader simply means what he's trying to do right now, the rhetorics, the bad talks, the bad biles, what Gashagwa is doing right now, and all that kind of stuff. They are completely being the politicians they were even before the elections. And that is what I mean. They're not being presidential. They're not so much sensitive so far as presidency, the seat is concerned, being a symbol of national unity, building on the cohesion, making people feel together, like, being building on the peace and unity. The reason as to why I responded with a lot of emotions at first, it was just because uh, listening to the president's speech was so fresh in my heart. Like, I was feeling like, is this really my president talking? Okay, the fact is, we went to an elections, whether Jose Camargo, whether Sava, whether what, blah, blah, blah. We are now 6 months down the line after the elections, and there is nothing that can happen, no miracle that can happen that can take us back to the elections. We have to accept and live with that fact. As on our side, having accepted and living with that fact, the president and the deputy also need to accept the fact that they are now in power and they need to live with that fact. And now they are leading Kenyans, and they are not leading UDA Kenyans. They are not leading Kenya Kwanza. They are not leading Malala, Ichungwa, Gashagwa, the wife, and the rest. Now, a few questions need to be put across. As I said earlier on, am I in support of Mandamano? I said two things. I would really support it if, and I mean if, there is full guarantee of peaceful picketing without any kind of bloodshed and interference of anyone's business, and no loss of life that is going to be accounted. I would really be in for it. Anybody talking contrary to that, this picketing is not about Raila Odinga, it is not about Luos, it is not about Azimio, it is not about ODM people. It is about Kenyans. Whether Uhuru is funding it or not. In fact, if Uhuru is funding it, then he is funding a good thing. If at all it's going to be peaceful and it's going to be about us. If at all is funding it, should not be your problem, Jake. Should not be my problem, Nelson. The problem is, are we going to address the issues that people are going to picket about? Okay, if this picketing is going to be peaceful, I shouldn't mind on who is funding it. What I think should be done is that we need to put our government into check. As I said before, even Raila Odinga has recognized this government to be a government and denied this government not to be a government. He has recognized how. Yesterday he mentioned, if the president will be at Arambe House, we will take our MOU there. If he will be at the State House, we will send representative. It means he knows there is a president who occupies the presidency. Okay? So that means he recognizes it. So any other person, fine, you can go, I can go, I support whatever thing, grievances that any other person could be having as a Kenyan, you can go. But please don't go with something twisted in your mind that there is no government. There is government. It's only that the people who are in power are really, not that much mature for it. They're not acting like, people in government. They are confused. They have power which they do not really understand where it came from. They were not ready for it and all that kind of stuff. The issue of gas. First of all, we really go along and we really dance and we really consume a lot of propaganda. There is this propaganda being propagated. It started all the way with Kimani Chungwa, William Ruto, Gachagua. Yesterday I heard Malala talking about it, that Raila sells gas. Raila only trades on a gas cylinder and not gas. Any other thing related to that, or whatever thing that is pioneered on that other aspect, if you have facts, please bring them on. If you don't have, shut up. Don't consume what other politicians are telling you on top of cars, and then you carry them as if you've bought a national a standard magazine, thinking that you're having the truth and you don't have. Protected persons. I liked what my guy said, that even you as an individual, as a Kenyan, you are a protected person. And it does not mean that if protected areas cannot be accessed, then you, the person who is going to picket peacefully, you can be accessed and be beaten and be arrested and even be killed by the Kenyan police, because you should be protected. You are the first thing to be protected, even before those areas to be protected. People have started talking about Ruto's government 6 months. Yes, I wouldn't really say that he has failed per se, but he has really indicated by far close to 80% of failure symptoms. First of all, you come into a government which you're complaining that you have inherited with a depleted or deplicated, whichever verb that you're using and adjective that you're using to describe the economy. And then what you do, you create ministries and subdivide departmental heads as if you're, and then each and every departmental head in each and every ministry you give a PS. First of you are bloating your wage bill. You're blotting your wage bill after subdividing ministries into departmental heads and giving each and every ministry 2 PSs. Like a case study of Ministry of Water has been subdivided into 2 departmental heads having 2 PSs. For what reason? Each and every PS has 2 cars, has security officers, has a very huge amount of money in terms of salary. Their wives are being protected by Kenyan police. We are paying for that. And then you come back again and then you reward political losers who have been in the power, who have been in the political sector and have been in offices, who have looted. Some are still having cases. You award them 50 positions as CSS, and then you say you are reorganizing your government. Reorganizing what, to be specific? Are you even in consideration of the kind of economy that you're complaining about? And again, Jake, I think, I don't mean to discriminate anybody on this platform, but I think to some extent I'm getting a little bit disappointed by some of our sisters and brothers who are contributing on this platform, but they're abroad. They think they reason comparing things that are happening where they are and not what is happening on the ground here where we are. Clinton has really good points, but in all those and everything, Clinton seems to be talking from his comfort zone where he is, and vis-a-vis you, Jake, who could be really giving the real situation on the ground where you are here in Kenya. Many other people, we acknowledge the fact that they send money back home. They feel the heat of the economy. They feel everything that we could be talking about. They can reason the way we reason, but then they don't see what we see. Okay? That's the bare minimum fact. They are told and they reason with hearsays. They don't know what we go through. So I would request that maybe perhaps if at all you can work on a mechanism whereby if we have 10, if this frame can accommodate 10 people, let's have 2 from abroad and 8 from within. So then we consume legit information from the ground and not hearsays and not people saying Kenya, comparing Kenya, UK, comparing Kenya, US, nini, and the rest. And I'm not in any way discriminating anybody, but I'm just saying, for us to get our facts together, it's best we get more of those facts from people who are within. Somebody said Ruto promised us. When you're an Azimio supporter like me, you should not be in any way. I think my brother is here. He was called the Big Day. Mr. Big Day, you should not be in any way purporting that Ruto promised you something, because first of all, you did not take his promise and you didn't vote him. So don't say that he promised you something. He did not promise you. He promised his voters, he promised the people who voted him. The only thing is that we don't need to hear rhetorics and promises after promises from the president. He now needs to act as the president and start delivering and not continuing with promises, because the elections have been done. Campaign period is over. Stop going to each and every Sunday church, what interdenomination. Our state house is not a parish. Don't convert it into a church event. We don't want. We are tired of seeing people in bagged suits all in the name of their pastors, and they're enjoying food that is being bought and paid for by taxpayers. In fact, that is the only point where I support the current senator to Nairobi, Sifuna. Senator Sifuna said, don't in any way even fathom to imagine that you can organize a food symposium all in the name of a government agency having an event, and people there are going home hungry. They do not have food. As long as those people will come to that event to eat and go, not to even beat people, I don't have any problem. They should come, eat that food, let you people to go continue with your symposium, continue with your seminar, continue with your meeting, and get done with it. They should not beat people. But I think I can advise even my people who listens to me from my ward. They normally, at least they normally take some influence. If any county government or any national government representative agency is having a symposium of food and having tents, big tents with caterers, please go there, eat and leave. Don't fight.
Okay, Nelson, allow me to continue reading people what they're saying. And first, because the comments ni mingi, siwezi weza soma zote, nita acknowledge to the people. Rachel Mondi, I see you. Kamo, I see you. Arvashin TV, asante kwa kuwa part of us. Joel Kipto, thank you from LD. I see you. William Kamore, I see you. Ian Aguya, asante sana. Victor Musioka, Ochieng Godfrey, Isaac